first down. There was other move. Did you feel lively out there? How do you describe your movement?
Yeah, I mean, obviously going through progressions and trying to hit guys first on third down, and I felt early on New England did a good job just with scheming us up with our plays and stuff, and we had guys running with them anticipating our routes, I felt like. And so anyways, just going through progressions, and then at the end I'm like, all right, we need 4 yards here and 8 yards here, and so I just tried making them play with my legs and was able to move the chains. So yeah, felt good though, like early on, sort of just moving and getting into the game, it felt like.
Brock, you talk so much about efficiency and completions and patience. I don't know if I've ever seen you throw this many deep strikes in a game today. What was there for the taking that you thought?
Yeah, I mean, we were just ready for any – I mean, that's the case for every game, is we're ready for – if they present a certain coverage, then we have, a shot or an opportunity ready, and we just got to execute and capitalize on them. And so for this game, there was a couple plays where, their safeties were low, and when we had guys going deep with Debo and JJ, and so for me, we talked about it on the sideline, and I was sort of aggressive to seeing that and let it rip and trust those guys to get under it and make plays, and that's what they did. So it was nice to be able to connect on, those deeper routes and stuff like that, and put that on tape and give us all some confidence moving forward with the deep ball.
When you say they were scheming you guys up, they usually play a lot of man coverage. Were they doing different things today, more zone?
No, I think they did a lot of man, but with just like anticipating with their safeties, like looking guys up, crossing the field and stuff, and sort of just ready for some of the routes that we had on. And so I thought they did a good job with that, and sort of making the plays a contested catch kind of play and things like that. So, props to them. They did a good job.
You've been doing more of that this year, sort of taking away those middle routes, the crossing routes that have been, your bread and butter in recent seasons.
Yeah, I feel like, in the past couple seasons, that's been, something that, we're sort of known for. But, people scheme us up, and they do a good job with just leverage and taking away certain routes. And so for us, that's a good opportunity for us to be able to adapt and work on different things as well. So every team is different. They present a new challenge and stuff. But this week was a lot of, man coverage and sort of, they did a good job of just funneling everything back to the middle of the field. So they did a good job with it.
Seeing or reading on the Kittle touchdown, certainly wasn't wide open there. We just let him make a play, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, the play was for him to break out and then go up. It was more of a third down play, but we thought we'd get the look for it down there. And so I saw him break out, and then I was getting hit, so I was like, I just need to give my guy a shot here and give him a chance. So just put it up for him and let him come down with it. So, but he made a great play, but way better than a better throw than that was. Like he made the play. So that's George.
Brock, you are, I guess, last week against the Rams, NFC Championship game against the Lions, today at times. Your ability to scramble and run is maybe more prevalent than in the past. You did a lot in college. How is it different what you're doing now, as far as with your legs, if at all, than kind of what you did in college?
I mean, I'm not dropping back thinking, all right, I'm going to act like I'm going to, throw and then just run and try to make a play. It's not like that. I'm a quarterback. I'm trying to go through my reads and hit my guys and move the chains that way, and that's the position that I play, and I take pride in that. And so when something's not there and teams drop 8 and they're rushing 3, and last week we saw a play where they dropped 9 and rushed 2. And so for me, it's like knowing that, like I'm still going to go through my progression, try to hit my guys in windows when I can, but if not, then I feel like, I have, just the right amount of athleticism to move and make plays. So I don't need to be a freak athlete and all that kind of stuff. I know who I am. But if something presents itself, then I'm willing to do what it takes for our team to move the chains and use my legs.
Brock, when you say just the right amount of athleticism, like what do you mean? Like you're maybe just above the mean there?
Yeah, I mean, I think my 10-yard split, just to give you guys some perspective, was faster than Christian's and Debo. I think you guys can fact check me, but that's what I mean. Like I think I just have enough to get out of the pocket and make a play, pick up 5-7 yards here or there. So I'm not Lamar Jackson's by any means, but anyways, just do what it takes.
In front of you today, big holes for Mason, and for the most part, you were upright.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job, man. Just obviously it starts with the run, and for those guys to be able to give Mason the lanes that he had was huge. And then in the pass game, man, I thought they did a great job. You know, there's some looks where it's a little crazy and stuff in there, but you know, I think they did an amazing job of giving me time, allow me to see guys downfield and hit those third level throws. So that's a prop to them, man. So they had a chip on their shoulder this week at practice, and we all did. And so and with that being said, I still think we can all collectively as an offensive unit be better and execute in situations. So, but very proud of those guys.
Last one.
Interception, BA, across the middle of the field. I saw him early, and then I went to lead him, and I didn't see Jabril Peppers. He sort of fell off and got it. So that's something that, you know, I got to move on in my progressions and not be greedy. I think I hitched to him 2 or 3 times, which just isn't good as a quarterback. Like, you go through your progressions based off of your hitches and you read with your feet. And that when I got greedy, I saw him across the middle, and Jabril made a good play.
All right, thanks, guys. Friends right here.
You agree that Brock is just athletic enough?
Seems like a great athlete to me. Keep running for those first downs, buddy. Love that.
What point did you have the end zone on your mind?
As soon as I got up, found some green grass. You know, I'm excited to go back and watch it to see the effort that, you know, my guys were given to get blocks. I mean, you don't get in the end zone unless you got your teammates having your back in that situation. So I'm happy we got that one. It's good.
Was it precautionary to stay out the second half?
I mean, I would have been out there if I could have been. But so we'll see, you know, as we get more information on it.
Like you asked some lobbying to get back in at the beginning of the third quarter there. What was kind of the back and forth?
You know, it was all based off the field. You know, like I said, if I could have been, it'd take a lot for me to tap out, right? So I mean, if I could have been out there, I would have been. We'll get more information as we go with scans and all that, but I feel good right now.
On the touchdown, you looked like you might have been either gassed or hurt a little bit. Like, how'd you feel after scoring?
Yeah, I mean, after catching it, I guess I was in the air a little bit, and I fell with no type of something to break the fall. So I kind of landed on my back, lost winds, but I got up and ran anyway. So I was winded for sure. I was just trying to catch my wind at that point.
Brock just said that you guys practiced all week with a chip on your shoulder. Do you agree with that? What was practice like this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was chippy. I think it was exactly what it needed to be. I mean, you dropped two losses, especially the one last week. It had a sour taste in our mouth. Yeah, I think it was the right type of week.
Do you feel like you're playing at an even higher level than you were last year and the year before?
I mean, I'm just trying to do my best, you know, whatever that takes for the team, honestly. And, you know, the play today, I've been talking about that for weeks now. You know, Coach Staley does a great job in our ball meeting, and he's made it an emphasis that if you score on defense, you have about 100% chance of winning the game. And so I'm like, we got to score on D. And for us to get that play, you know, obviously we won, and we got to keep it going now.
Did you just instinctively kind of break off your coverage and try to just hide to get that interception? Like, how did it go through?
Yeah, lots of experience. You know where to be at the right spots. You kind of understand route concepts, regardless of, you know, the cover responsibility. And usually, if you're in the middle of the field around the hashes, good things can happen.
You have a lot of different faces and on different positions on defense. What kind of burden is that for you as the leader, and how have you approached kind of making that all mesh?
It's not a burden. You know, I think it's an opportunity. And I was excited from the moment we got all the new guys that we did this offseason because of what they bring to our team and to the defense. You know, I think the opportunity was to now continue to build that cohesion and that chemistry amongst the group, right? I think the best teams are the ones that are the closest, and that doesn't happen overnight. You know, week by week, we got to continue to try to find that closeness as a team, as a defense. And I feel like the more we do that, the better we're going to play and the better product we're going to put on the field.
Fred, we watched Brock for a while now. Be efficient, pile up completions, lead the team. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen him throw deep as many times as he did today, and the air yards and all the stuff everybody always talks about. What does that do now that teams have seen he can do that consistently? What does that do for him and your offense? And is there anything he can't do?
Nah, he's the best, man. I love Brock. Love exactly how he plays the game, who he is, the leader that he is for our team. You know, he doesn't say a whole lot, but he doesn't have to at the end of the day. Like the way that he approaches his craft and is so humble about his approach, you know, never too high, never too low, and continuing to get better in all phases of his game, knowing what it takes to win, right? You know, I love having him as our quarterback.
Asking, obviously, because of the catch and the run, could you have been recruited as a tight end? Should you have been recruited as a tight end?
Played a little tight end in high school, but just wasn't really for me, man. I'm more of a, you know, control your destiny out there. Tight end, you might get a catch, you might not. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good.
How was Malik out there in terms of chemistry, communication, being on the back end?
I thought he did great. You know, he had that opportunity to have an interception late in the game. You know, got to bring those in. But other than that, man, I love the way that Malik plays the game. I mean, hair on fire, no hesitation. You see him just flashing all the time with the way that he sprints to the football. You know, so I love the way that he plays the game. He's only going to continue to get better.
All right, thanks.
All right, guys.
That was the best catch. Your touchdown catch was the best that he probably had ever seen with his own 2 eyes. Did it feel like that to you?
That's saying a lot coming from Trent Williams. He's played a lot of football, so yeah, it means a lot. Like I said, he's played a lot of football, so if he says that's really good, it makes me really happy. Oh dear, it felt fantastic. I'm just wasn't really confident in the play call because that was something we had called originally from like way farther out. And when he called it from the 10, I had to double check with Brock to make sure it was the right play. And I was like, all right, man, just throw it. And he just threw it. So it was pretty fun.
Do you find that, like, I mean, Brock's always been trusting you guys, but he is even putting more trust. Like, I was going to put the ball up there and let my guy make a play. Is that happening more?
I mean, I think just watching, like, I mean, the deep ball he threw to Juwan, like, he just has trust in us to go out there and make plays. And, I mean, we have a lot of really talented football players, some we've said for a long time, whether it's Debo, Ayuk, Juwan, me, McCaffrey, Juice. Like, we have a lot of guys who can catch a football. So for him to go out there and have that trust, I think just reinforces that fact that we have a lot of playmakers that he just trusts.
When did Fred Warner's interception spark the offense for you guys?
Man, he's pretty good, isn't he? Goodness gracious. I was just bummed. I was actually frustrated at first because he had as many points as the Niners offense did to start the game. So I'm glad that we got some more points on the board. But, yeah, just a heck of a play. Hopefully he hit like 17 miles an hour. I don't know if he did, but I'm pumped for him. That was an amazing play.
I'm sure you need to see a couple of replays, but where would you rank your catch on your career web jams?
I might have to get back to you on that. I have no idea. I'll call it top 5, though, probably. I have no idea. I just finished, man.
When you say that play is usually called further out, what was your doubt about just being too crowded?
I mean, it was like an out and up that we had originally called from like the 40-yard line, and so I thought it was going to be we're going to run it from farther out. So running an out and like a 12-yard out and up from the 10-yard line is a little aggressive, but what a great play call when it works, man.
As you know, Brock's very humble. He noted
Brock?
Yes.
The way he signs his autographs and takes up the entire football every single time doesn't really make it seem like that.
Brock's an ass.
Someone quote him on that?
But he was pointing out and talking about his athleticism. He has a better 10-yard split than Debo and Christian.
Notice how he didn't say me?
Right, exactly.
Thank
We
you.
have to verify that. But, I mean, is there something to that? The fact that he, you know, I think because he's pigeonholed, he doesn't have this athleticism. But, like,
I mean, I think he constantly proves that he does have that athleticism, whether it's the NFC Championship game or today. Like, when he can scurry, that's a right word, right? When he can scurry for a first down on third down, I mean, I love that because most of the time you have one of our, skilled players getting double teamed and then they're trying to take away everybody else. And if you just let Brock run, it's really good for the Niners just to keep us on the football field.
You guys feel like you were playing with extra focus after the tough 2 losses?
Yes and no. I thought we started off well. I want to score touchdowns. So like getting 2 field goals to start the game. We're leaving points on the board. Then obviously Fred had an amazing play to, get a touchdown. And I think we were rolling there for a little bit, but second half, I think we have a lot of things that we need to clean up. We had like 3 drives that weren't great. We were on the field for a while, but they weren't fantastic. And those are things that we have to execute and stay on the field and, not fumble it, whatever it was. I haven't watched the tape, so I don't really see it. But I just felt like we were playing from behind a little bit there in the third and fourth quarter. So we need to clean that up, especially when we're playing like very dominant teams that have like really good offenses. Not saying the Patriots don't, but our defense was playing very good against them today.
George mentioned finishing. Set the tone that they did.
All right, start over.
So when you see the defense set the tone like they did with Warner's interception return, how good does that make the offense feel that you guys can pretty much then go ahead and do what you want and do the rest of the game?
I love it when our defense plays well. It takes a lot of the pressure off the offense. That's funny. It just takes pressure off us when our defense, they're going to go out there, get a stop, get a turnover, which they did a lot of that today. So it gives us confidence in them that they're going to get stops and allows us to just not feel that pressure as much, I would say.
Last year, you guys were as good as anybody, better than anybody in the red zone.
Yep.
Anything you can put your finger on maybe why that hasn't clicked so far this year?
No, not necessarily. I like running the ball when we get in the red zone. I'm a huge fan of that. But I think teams are doing a good job about countering a lot of stuff we want to do on offense. I mean, you saw the Patriots do a lot of 6 on the line today, kind of daring us to throw, and sometimes we guessed right and sometimes we didn't. But just with whether it was a run or a pass, and just things that we need to look at, clean up. And I know that Coach Shanahan's going to do a really good job of being brutally honest with us about what we need to be better at.
George, what did you think of Mason today? He went for 5 yards of carry, but it seemed like you guys were blocking it up for him up front.
I felt really good about it. I thought our outside guys, whether it's tight ends or Juice, was really good. I thought we were flowing really well today. We did a lot of stuff with the wide receivers, kind of bluffing on the ends too. I thought they did a great job. And when you have like a hat on everybody except for a safety, JP's a good enough running back. He's playing great, but he's a good enough player to see that and like set up blocks and then cut back inside. And he's just done a fantastic job of that in every game this season.
Might be a little bit questionable. Do you go up to Kyle afterwards?
Nope. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. I'll. You know what? He's in the zone. I don't need to take him out of that zone. He can talk to Purdy about it. I'm not questioning the play call. Just like, it's more like curious, like interesting. But I mean, it is what it is. It was ended up being a touchdown. So great play call. How are my ribs? Why? Says who? Who is the rumor from? You guys are just incredible. Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
How did you feel about how some of those defensive tackles stepped up with Javon out?
I need to watch the tape, but it seemed good. We did good against the run. And I think coming into the year, I was really confident in the depth we had. I hope Jordan's good. But yeah, Evan stepped in and looked like he had a good game, so it's good.
You kept getting closer and closer to a sack there. It looked like you were really, really wanting that last. Talk about the progression of that over those last few plays.
Yeah, it was looking bleak, but you just have to be ready. You got to be ready for your op, and I had a few, missed plenty, but I think we had a great day as a D-line, and we got a win, so that's all that matters.
We didn't know much about Sam Okoano going into this season. Were you familiar with him at all, and have you been impressed with what he's been able to do?
I always knew what he had in his body, and he came in last year late, and then you see him in camp. He had a really strong camp, and then he had an injury, I think a hamstring or something, so it kind of set him back. And, he probably played no more than 15 plays and probably affected 10 of them. So to have a guy like that, to give some of our starters a rest and make an impact like that, it's huge for us.
Sam, credit to you, Nick, with a lot of his improvement. He says that you talk to him all the time about rush plans and intricacy of the position. Do you focus more on that as you grow up in this league and be more of a veteran to kind of pass?
Yeah, I love when guys ask me questions. I don't have it figured out myself, but I have a few things figured out, and And me and him, I mean, he sits right next to me in meetings, and he's always asking me stuff. So he's only going to get better. So I'm really happy for him.
You Purdy not only throw it deep so often, but hit all those deep balls. As a teammate, what's it like to see that?
I mean, we have all the pieces. Obviously, Brock is playing his butt off, and guys are making plays for him. We just need to be cleaner, offense and defense. And but yeah, I love seeing it. I love seeing Jawan make plays, Debo, George. It's tough to spread it around.
Fred is playing at an even higher level this year than he has the last couple of years.
I do. Well, I mean, sometimes he's always played at the highest of levels. Sometimes things come your way in a game, and he's taking advantage of all those opportunities. So obviously his stats are crazy right now, and I don't see it slowing down.
What was your vantage point on the interception?
I was blocking. I kind of set up a wall for him. I think I blocked a couple guys. But it looked like he was running out of gas towards the end.
To start to pile up at one point, and then the 2 losses, and then you guys have such a dominant win today. Does it kind of feel like a reset as you're about to welcome the Cardinals here next week?
Yeah, it feels good. Get a win. It's such a long year. If you looked from an outsider's perspective or looked online, you'd think the building's burning down. But I told the guys, told the D-line guys in our meeting last night that we've lost some guys, but I haven't lost confidence in this group one bit. So, and that's the truth. So I think we're going to be just fine.
A different intensity in practice this week after the last 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, we've been practicing really good. It's just a matter of bringing it to the game, and I think we did that today.
Kyle talked about how he likened Brissett to Ben Roethlisberger. It's just hard to bring down. Do you attribute like his build to you missing some of these sacks, or is it?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, when you win quick on a rush and you have 4 or 5 yards and he sees you coming, it's tough. But I think on a couple of my missed ones, some other guys cleaned it up, so that's good.
Miles on your body today, just running.
It was a tough one. I'll be sore. Thanks.